Hi, welcome to today's video. I've got a bit of an agenda for today because I've got a couple of different bits and pieces that I wanted to cover and talk to you about. Yeah, here it is. So I want to cover normal sort of flip through of my pages from the past few days. I'm going to show you some setup I've done ready for November because the year is like rapidly flying away from us. And also I want to talk about perhaps my thoughts I've been having about maybe moving away from the Filofax. I realise I sort of hinted at this last week, but then didn't actually discuss it in any detail. So I think if we start off with our normal kind of chat and flip through the pages, everything else will kind of naturally evolve and flow out from there. So as normal, my tracker pages are at the beginning of the Filofax. I've archived last week's. I'm a bit hit and miss about remembering to tell you this, but my sort of pen of the week in here is the brown Zebra Sarasa clip pen from the vintage collection. Sort of forgot the word there. And we've got a little sticker up here, which is from the Midnight Tarot collection or advent calendar that the Sticky Club did. I'll just grab you this specific artist. That sticker is by Tiny Yumi, and last week I'd put some thin washi here and I thought actually I'm not going to do that again because I didn't really like how it looked. And I said last week it's very rare that I put crosses in the wrong boxes, and then on Saturday, Sunday and today I've put crosses in the wrong places. So that was me jinxing myself a bit there. And health stuff for this week is sort of set up and ready to go as well. And then my to-do list pages. I feel like these have been particularly messy the past few days. So yes, it was about here I think we were. So for my to-do lists, decoration is very minimal because it's very much a scrappy practical place. I've used a couple of banner headers here from Flying Tiger. Here for this day I just used a highlighter to indicate, you know, Thursday. Same again on Friday. This label here is from packaging from some stickers that I was gifted from my friend. So I suppose that's maybe something to mention as well. A friend of mine got back from a trip to Japan recently and he got me a few stationery bits. He got me a few Studio Ghibli stickers. I'll show you those in just a second actually. A few Studio Ghibli stickers, some Animal Crossing stickers, and also a notebook that has My Neighbour Totoro art on it. This is a bit of a segue. I wasn't necessarily going to cover this, but I feel like people might like to see it. So the stickers I've already put in my sticker collection, so it kind of looks a little bit messy in a way. Let's just try and flip to the correct section. Here we go. So there were a few of these bigger stickers for the different films, and there was like 2 stickers per sheet. So we've got My Neighbour Totoro, we've got Kiki's Delivery Service, we've got Spirited Away, and we've got Castle in the Sky. And then as you've seen, there's some soot sprites here, a few different sizes. We've got these bigger ones here, and we've got these ones with plants. And then these are the Animal Crossing ones, where they're in these like muted pastel shades, which is really sweet. So that's those, and then the notebook I'll just grab for you. So the notebook is this Roll Barn one, and I looked it up, and the Roll Barn books I believe are manufactured by Delphonics. So we've got this, the cat bus on the front, cream grid paper. I think maybe this is about 5mm. And something that was quite fun to see is at the back here, there's a bunch of like plastic wallets. So I'm not too sure what I'll end up using this for, but I feel like this would be great for keeping ephemera in on trips and that sort of thing, and keeping everything laid quite flat. So that's lovely to have received. So yeah, anyway, the label is from one of those sticker sets, and it's cute because there's this little Totoro here too, on the sticker itself. On Saturday I used a stencil for the Saturday, and we've got a bit of pet tape just sort of plopped down for a bit of decoration here. The last few days worth of these pages, like they've always been a scrappy place, but sometimes I quite like how they look and I'll make a bit more effort. For whatever reason, the past few days, it's just like not gone that way at all. Yesterday, I tried to use one of my pens. Yeah, it was a midliner brush pen. And I'm not very good at calligraphy or anything like that, and it shows. But I just thought I'd give it a try, and like I say, it's a messy space in here, so I've got that freedom to do so. It still served its purpose, it's still a practical thing, I can read it. And then I used the stencil again today, and these are just some scraps of washi tape from the decoration I've done in one of my Traveller's Notebook size books that I'll show you in a little bit. Yeah, scraps sometimes end up in here. I've got a list here of November mushrooms. So this scrappy to-do list sort of section is also where I will write very quick notes. So for example, this list of mushrooms. Last night while my partner and I were watching TV, I started to think about what I might do for my reward for my kofi or coffee members. I do a digital reward on there each month, and I thought that it'd be really nice to make something with a mushroom design. I really I'm interested in mushrooms and fungi, and November is a great time of year for seeing them in the UK. So I did a quick Google search just to remind myself of like the main mushrooms you tend to see in the UK in November. So that's this list, and then I've used that to design the reward today. And then my little agenda here, and then I started my to-do list for tomorrow as well. Collections wise, things haven't developed much. I've just added a couple of extra films to my to be watched list, and I have crossed a few off as well. I watched a fair few films in the last few days. So that's the pages in the Filofax at the moment. I'll pop it to the side because I'm potentially going to discuss me moving away from the Filofax shortly, so it might come back into play. My A6 next. So I mentioned last week, I think it was, that now and again I will switch between my Have a Nice Day cover and this navy blue one. I decided to put the plastic cover back on as well, just for an extra bit of protection, but also because I wanted to slip this postcard in here. The postcard is one that I received. I bought a Halloween advent calendar from the Haunts Curiosity Shop. They're based in Somerset, I think, and this postcard was one of the sort of rewards. I might add some further decoration just to sort of frame that a bit nicer, but for now I'm quite comfy with that. I've also added a little bit of sort of decoration in here. I also made myself a sort of bookmark or charm here, and it says Gloomy Daffodil, which is the username that I tend to use on social media and stuff. It's funny actually, I don't know if this would be something like people might give me feedback on. I've been toying with changing my sort of username on YouTube to Gloomy Daffodil, because anything that I do online that is associated with my notebooks and stuff, typically I'm using that kind of handle, whereas Alex Thomas Creative is like more of my professional name when it comes to my artwork and stuff. So I think it's helpful because using the Alex Thomas Creative name sort of maybe directs people to the artwork, and you know, I'm really appreciative of that, but it kind of feels like I'm sending mixed messages in a way. Obviously all of it's me, but it kind of feels like I'm crossing the streams in a way. So if you think Alex Thomas Creative is good to stick with, let me know. Alternatively, if you think it should be Gloomy Daffodil, I'd be interested to hear about that too. So a few pages in here. Oh, my pencil case just fell over. I'm still keeping up with this mood tracking in a broad sense of the word. I'm pretty much decided that I'm going to go back to my old way of doing it next month. This page hasn't changed a fat lot. I've got a few things done at the side here. Oh, this appointment has been cancelled, so I'll cross that out. I've added in my quote for October, so the space is looking a bit more filled out. I will be honest, to be honest with you, my decoration for October, I'm not really liking how it's come together so far, which is a bit of a shame because like it's a time of year that I like the best, and I feel like I've kind of fluffed the decoration. It's not terrible, and I don't want to risk ripping anything. The potential benefit of improving it isn't worth the risk of ripping the pages, so I'm going to leave it as is, but I feel like I could have thought through the placements and things a bit better. And then I have laid down a bit of decoration ready for November. So I've had this November here for a little while. Laid down this washi tape that's kind of like a old-fashioned style print. I don't know how to describe it really, and I can't remember where it's from, unfortunately, either. And then I've used a few stickers as well. So there's these books with a ghost, and that is a Paper Shire sticker. I wasn't quite over Halloween, or rather I'm not quite over Halloween, and I won't be at the beginning of the month. So I felt like it was a nice way to tide me over, so to speak. And I made a particular point of picking like brown tones and neutrals for this because we're still going to be in autumn in November, so the browns and the oranges and the reds just felt like a really good call for these pages. And then down here I've got some soup, and that's from a Moraine Kunst sheet, and a small moth here, which is a Marigold Suli one. And then if we look at the daily pages from the last few days, I had this collage page in the middle, really like it, but these centre collages do bulk the pages up a bit. So my layout is that I do a tarot reading each morning, and I put that card at the top. It's just a single card reading, and then on an evening I wrote down what I did, and sometimes some stuff about feelings, but I tend to keep that fairly minimal because this is a book that I do post online. Something that I have been doing actually maybe about the last week or so is doing morning pages. So I've got a 2024 on here. This at the beginning of the year was actually a gift for somebody, but they decided to, and it was a bit of a gamble when I bought the gift. I was pretty sure, I was like 50-50. I thought either because they kind of mentioned wanting to journal and come away from computers and stuff like that. It was a gift. In the end, they were like, actually, I know I'm not going to commit to it. I know that it's quite an expensive notebook, so I'd rather you have it and make use of it. And at the beginning of the year, I turned it into like a health tracker, and there is some of that information in the first couple of months, but I dropped it, and now I track health stuff in the Filofax. So I've decided, rather than picking up in like October, where are we? Yeah, like October, and having a whole chunk of the book not used, that I would just pick up like at my first free page. I'm just flicking through this quickly because a lot of this is kind of private stuff. And I do like the classic 3 pages a day, as one does under the kind of classic morning pages. And then when I hit pages where I've actually filled things in, so for example, at one point partway through the year, I think, where was it? Is it earlier than this? Yeah, one point partway through the year, I kind of did a test to see essentially how I'd get on splitting the page in half. So using the top half for commonplace and the bottom half for like a daily entry. And that's effectively how I'm going to be using my A5 next year. So this was kind of a test for that. But of course, in the A6, the pages are much shorter. So anyway, with the morning pages, when it comes to me hitting these, I'll just skip them and move on. Because morning pages are very much a private thing, for me, I don't really care what the book looks like at the end of the year. It's not something I'm going to go back to. It's very much just like for venting, and then I put it away. This cover is very sweet, however, so that's a positive. So I keep taking lots of sideways, what are they called? Sidebars today. I will try and stay focused. This next spread I think is really cute. So same sort of layout. We've got my tarot readings at the top, and then my Dear Diary entries. I did a little bit of a sort of collage thing here. I'll just move this out of the way. So this background sticker here is a stamped and sealed co one. And then I've got this moon sticker here. On the 17th we had a super moon, and it was the hunter's moon as well. So very big, very bright, very close to the earth. So I wanted to sort of cement that with the decoration. I've got either Timmy or Tommy here from Animal Crossing. That was the day my friend gave me the stickers from Japan. And we've also got this Feeling Gloomy one from Megan Rhiannon, because I was feeling quite low that day. So as well as having my mood tracker, I think it's just good to see, like, at a glance, like, oh yeah, this was a bit of a naff day for me. The moon sticker, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it might be Morin Kunst. And then I've got a picture tacked in here of my little monster from Pop Mart. I saw these maybe a few weeks ago now, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And it's like quite a big plush. It's like 15 centimeters tall, and I've attached him to my bag, and it's so good for when I'm out and about and I'm getting maybe a bit anxious and overwhelmed and stuff. It's a good like soft stim for me, but also it's great because it's like his body is a pumpkin, and he's got like a skull, almost like a hair clip accessory, so it just feels very like on brand. And then I watched quite a few. Yeah, actually this was like a marathon of films I watched this day, and all focused around like Halloween as well. Why I've picked these stickers. So the little star and the like old school film camera, those are Megan Rhiannon stickers. I'm pretty sure both these stickers are Marigola Suli. So they just fit really well. Next couple of days, I like the decoration here as well. I feel like I'm really enjoying like putting together these little collages and thinking like what shapes go together nicely, what colours go together nicely. So yeah, really enjoying that. In the very background is a stamped and sealed co sticker, which is from a set of like forestscapes. The cupcake and this little star are Megan stickers. This washi is from Colour Cafe. This pansy is from Olive and Mabel, and was on a sheet where they did a collaboration with Bronte here on YouTube. And then this little bat is from the Sticky Club Halloween set that I mentioned, and the artist is Hayamina. On this day I finished Cemetery Boys, so that's why that is tacked in there. And then the decoration I went for here was kind of linking to the book, so it's set around Halloween and Dias de la Muertos. I might not be pronouncing that right, I've never taken Spanish, so I'm a bit dodgy on that. And the person involved is from like a South American country originally, and celebrates that, and his family celebrate that. So because of that, there's a bit of talk in there about like painting sugar skulls, ofrendas, and so this stack of books here with the skull was kind of like the closest I had for that. And then there's these like leaf stickers here which tie it all together, I think, and these are Marigola Suli ones. And then we're on today. I've got my tarot reading at the top here, and then these are like post-it note type things. I don't really know how to describe them. I'm not sure where they're from originally, because I got them from PJ when she sent me the Hobonichi cover a few weeks ago, and my plan is when I do my evening entries on these days, it's just to write straight across these pieces of paper, except for the houses and the swans, so a bit like I did on these days. So I've just like added them for a bit of extra texture on these pages. And then we've got like a bunch of Traveller's Notebook style books here, because as predicted last week, I finished up my commonplace entries in this section. I've done a bit of overflow, and then I've decorated a bit for November. So I'll pop this one to the side for now. Flip through this first one. These beginning pages largely stay static. I've been updating this for Peachtober as I've been posting everything. Updating my tracker as well. Yeah, it's interesting to see. I was like really consistent with reading at the beginning of the month, and then Cemetery Boys that I just mentioned, I kind of struggled a bit with it, to be honest. So there were a few days the last couple of weeks where I've not read much. or at all actually. My TBR, we're making progress. And then I'll just show you the last little bit of commonplacing in here. So I mentioned about the Hunter's Moon when I was going through the A6 pages. So there's a bit of information that I've copied out about that from Linda Pavlova Magic on Instagram. And this is a Marigold Suli sticker here. And then just a bit more here. And there is a little bit of space here for, I might be able to find a tiny quote at some point. This sticker is, to me it resembles like a chrysanthemum or a marigold. And when I was reading Cemetery Boys, there's a lot of references there to marigolds as part of the Dias de los Muertos celebrations, and a lot of the symbolism of those celebrations overlaps with the symbolism around the Hunter's Moon and of Halloween. So I put that in here because they all sort of connect together in that way. This sticker I received as a gift for my birthday, so I'm not sure where it's from. And then this skull is a Bones and Blankets one. No, it's a Bujo Cult one. And again, that's sort of tied into the themes around the full moon. And then in the last couple of days, I've just added a bit more commonplace stuff to this overflow. So this is a Traveller's Notebook Tokyo booklet, whereas the main booklets that I work in, these are like bespoke ones that Megan of Megan Rhiannon, she made them for herself. I bought a few from her. So this is my overflow. So the first bit I've done in the overflow is my Cemetery Boys review. Got another one of the Bujo Cult skulls here. This golden star is from Oliver Mabel, part of the collaboration with Bronte. And this star here is one of Noah's. And I'll list their shop below. And then here I've done like a little note to myself, essentially explaining to myself that I'm introducing a new key. At the beginning of the book and in the October book as well, I was using these particular dot stickers. However, I've run out of a couple of them now in the sort of categories that I speak about most. And I'm switching to these ones that I've typically used for, what have I used them for? I've used them more for like decorative things in the past. And it's these dot stickers that come on a roll. I think there's quite a few places you can get them, but I got them from my Stationery pal. And I have added one here in black, which isn't the right size. It's not actually a sticker, but it's a clean dot pen. Just because there are so few categories here, like so few colours available here compared to with like primary colours that I have at the beginning. I did what I could to condense it, but then I felt the need to still have one for other interests. And then I've got my October tarot reading here. These are notes from videos that someone on Instagram does. He's called Chris Corsini, and he does monthly tarot readings for each star sign. And he delivers them in English, but also in ASL. So if there's anyone here that like speaks or uses ASL, then you'd be able to engage with his videos. And I always find them really useful to like make notes of and then kind of reflect on like mid-month. And then a couple of stickers down here. These are from the sticky set that I've mentioned a few times. The little star is from Passion Peachy. And then the plant, it's like a pumpkin plant coming out of a cauldron. That's from November Rush. Their stuff's really cute. Yeah, and that's taken up these few pages. This exclamation point, like there was a point here that really resonated, so I've put this here. That's a Megan Rhiannon one. Got a little bit of sort of spare washi from when I was doing some decoration in my other book, as well as this like turtle that's also a pumpkin, and that is also from Passion Peachy. I just thought he worked like really well here, and he's very autumnal and very Halloween-esque, but also not, because he's a turtle. So I wanted to make sure I used it at some point during this October, but I wasn't sure when, and I wasn't necessarily going to use it in my like more typically like spooky spreads, so I wanted to make sure I used him, and there he is. And then I'll just show you the decoration I've done for this November book so far. So I showed you a bit of the decoration I've done for my my calendar in the A6, so I kind of did that at the same time as doing this. So I've got my front cover, the black and white picture of the three sort of ghost figures. That's something I've just pulled from Tumblr. That's typically what I will do on the front cover, so you can see I've got a similar one here with some Halloween decorations. I use my Dymo label maker to put the month on, and then I tend to try and frame it with maybe a couple of stickers. So the bats and this little star are from Megan Rhiannon, and then the scissors and this sort of golden ribbon, these are from Olive and Mabel, part of that Bronte collaboration. So these first couple of pages, I'm using them in the same way as I did in October, and I'm keeping them just as a bit of a reference point for upcoming media releases. So I've laid those out here. We've got November, and I've done this decoration. So I've used this washi tape as well. I like to try and keep things like fairly consistent where I can. So where I've got my two different calendars here, I've got the same washi going on, but then I've used quite different stickers. So in here I've got, you probably can't see them too well because they go with the tape very well, but that means they blend in. There's a sticker on here of some coffee pods, and those are from Stamped and Sealed Co. This butterfly is also from Stamped and Sealed Co. It was a freebie. And then I've got a sticker here from Salam Creative of, it kind of looks like a PlayStation remote, it kind of looks like a Switch Pro remote, and that's because I'm going to be using this box at the side for media tracking again. So I've put the different types of media here. I put in the days of the month, and I've used a clean dot sticker just to highlight them. I think next month I'm probably going to be using this as a book/reading tracker again. I've done that on and off in the last few months, and to be honest I didn't really have another purpose for it, so that's what it's going to be, I think. In this one, rather than doing a TBR here like I have in the last few months, I'm going to try and track my like daily habits. So in the Filofax at the moment I have these trackers at the beginning. I'll just show you briefly. So this top section is for things that I want to try and do at least once a day. This middle section is for things that I try and do once a week. And then this bottom part is usually like miscellaneous or one-off tasks that don't come up every single week. They're like pertinent to that specific week. And with my feelings about wanting to come away from the Filofax, that again I can kind of talk to you about more in a few minutes, I thought using this book in maybe like a smarter way would be the way to be able to move around, away from that. Also, just to note, this little sticker here is from Megan. So here I've got those tasks that I want to try and do every day, and I'll either mark a cross there or I will use this clean dot sticker. I think either could work absolutely fine. I don't have any trips planned, so I think I'm always going to have access to the dot sticker. And then we've got the weeks pages. So during September and during October I've not used the week pages, but I want to try and make use of them if I can. So I've got my weekly tasks here, and I can just mark across or cross them out once I have completed them. These individual boxes here I think I might use for tracking the health stuff. So if we go back to my Filofax, on the backs of these pages I have a similar sort of checklist for physical health symptoms and some mental health symptoms that I kind of regularly experience and I try and keep an eye on, and kind of see if they're getting worse or better and that kind of thing. So rather than drawing out that whole list, I figured I would just list what I've experienced. And if I try and keep it in a consistent way, so for example, if I experience a headache on both Monday and Tuesday, writing them first so I can see it like quicker and easier, that's what I'm thinking of doing. So I've sort of set up that first week ready, and then the rest are blank. And then we've got the sort of beginnings of the commonplace section in here. So I'm going to be using the dot stickers that I've mentioned before, plus that black clean dot pen. And at the beginning of the commonplace section, I like to do a bit of an introduction. So you can see it in this book, and a bit of decoration as well. I've not done the decoration yet. So we've got that kind of ready to go. I did that at the same time as doing it in the Tokyo booklet. So that's me kind of prep ready for when November rolls around. So if we come back to here, just to look at our agenda again. So yeah, my decoration, my pages, and then really the other thing that I just wanted to talk about is moving away from the Filofax potentially. So I've had a lot of fun with the Filofax. I really like the kind of DIY aspect, you know, making my dividers, making these bookmarks. It's been nice to have somewhere I can be a bit messy, you know, particularly with like this list section I keep in the middle. And it's nice as well, like, you know, having a bit of kind of decoration in the cover and the case itself. And I'm by no means like completely fallen out with it, want to get rid of this cover or anything. But I am finding that because I want to be able to access these lists every day out and about, or even when I'm downstairs on an evening with my partner, this is kind of bulky. Like, it's not the biggest planner to be dragging around with you. It's not like a whole A5 or something like that. But I'm just finding it a bit inconvenient from that point of view. And I'm also conscious of like printing off inserts and that sort of thing, and how that might add up. So I think I might temporarily retire it for a little bit in favour of some of the books that I've like collected over the years. So I think I've mentioned it in a past video, but like 6 months ago or something. For ages, really, I had the habit of popping into TK Maxx and picking up notebooks just as and when I fancied them. And in the last maybe 2 to 3 years, I've made use of a few of those. They've been useful books for like morning pages, and some of them I've actually removed the pages from and used them in the Filofax. But I've still got a number that are like ready to go kind of thing, that are still just sort of hanging around in my office. So I thought, while that was still the case, if I had like you know, I've got a few, for instance, like pocket-sized Moleskine books that came as packs. They're sort of the same sort of size as the Field Notes books. Those are much more portable and easy to grab, and kind of, I don't know, have a bit of like wear and tear to them and it not matter. That I think is just going to like free me up a bit. Also, I happened to see one on Vinted a few days ago with ghosts on, and I think it might be a way that's going to like help loosen me up a bit more, free me up a bit more. And also I kind of want to see how that works with commonplacing. So commonplacing, I pretty much do it in the most like traditional sense. It's about collating information. But now and again, I write more sort of personal notes in there. I think actually if I just have this small pocket book on me, those quick thoughts and those quick notes can go in there, and I can refer back to them if I need to. But then actually, because they're quite ephemeral, if I finish a book and it just sits in a box somewhere, that's fine, and I can get through them quicker. So that's kind of what I've been percolating over the last few weeks. I've also been thinking that I might have a bit of a colour code system in them as well. Thinking, you know, to-do lists, reference notes to come back to, and then maybe just like other as a tag. I did that for a very brief period, maybe last year, and it worked pretty well. I would take that book to work with me, out shopping, that sort of thing. Whereas when I've been into like my local city, like in the last few months, and I've taken this with me, it really has felt quite cumbersome. And then also I've started having a bit of wear and tear not so much on the bottom, but on the top here. You might not be able to see it. So that's what I've been thinking of. By the time we talk again next week, I might be using that book. I think I want to, because I've got these trackers printed for the next few weeks. I think I'm probably going to see out October in here, and then maybe start in that little book in November. The other thing that's making me lean that way, if I just grab my A5 for you. So here's the A5 that I'm going to be using next year. The other thing I thought of is, if I've got my main book, so we've got a few stickers here, we've got the A5 here, we've got my various like overflow books. If you want to see more on this, by the way, I'll put in a card for where I've talked about these books in more detail. And I just like the idea of, you know, this is the archive, this is like the main book and the desk book, so to speak. But then if I just grab one of my old field notes as an example, you know, having a little book on the front like that, it looks quite cute, and the aesthetics, you know, it's not the be all and the end all, but it's important for me. Just being able to slip something in like that, so it, you know, lives with the book. It's easy for me to get to when I'm at the desk, but then I'll just grab it and go when I'm not. That's really appealing to me. Whereas in the past and now and again, I think about like Traveller's Notebook books, and there's something that feels more faffy to me about like having to open it up, having to unwind the elastic, grabbing and going. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking at the minute. I do feel as though I have rambled a bit, and now I've got like 1 billion books on my desk. I think that is probably a sign for me to sign off. But it's been lovely talking to you. I hope you found that of some interest. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.